became something that was, naturally physically distanced. It provided a sense of, a source of exercise and transportation all in the same way. Plus, it's like a great stress reliever, and if you're feeling claustrophobic, and there's so many benefits to having a bike. And so we have repurposed some of our tour staff to really come on board on our sales team, and our Gawad Kalinga community in Victoria, Tarlac, has been able to resume work after that hiatus, because we're back in production and manufacturing our bikes. And yeah, we're still not able to fully employ about 25% of our workforce, and it's something that we are trying to find workarounds to, and anticipating the bounce back of any sort of activity in Intramuros when the time comes. But yeah, our drive now is directing online sales through our website, through our Facebook, through our Instagram, and generating the marketing materials and the communication about who our brand is, what we provide, and how we can be of service to the public now during this time when we found out there's a whole nother month of October now where we're going to be under GCQ, and where bikes might play an increasingly important role.
Talking about repurposing your tour staff into a team that conducted sales, did you have to train them? Did you have to sort of reskill or upskill your staff for them to cope with this new function of theirs?
Yeah, well, so the base of our business, especially with eco tours and our guides, is customer service. So it wasn't that big of a stretch per se to go from leading groups of international tourists on an adventure to guiding somebody through the purchasing process of one of our products. So fortunately, our staff is very capable of adapting to this challenge and opportunity, and we have been able to see one of our top performing tour guides, Russell Lako, transition to working with us as social media manager, sales agent, and kind of all around change to be able to drive revenue wherever it's possible. So yes, there has been some training. We do constantly have meetings virtually and distanced with our team to be able to feel the pulse of the market, to create the right kind of content and communications, and to address the needs of our customers.
So talking about driving sales online, how are sales so far? Like, did you have to do any active advertising, or are your sales mostly from word of mouth? And also, has the company benefited from the growing acceptance of bikes as a form of transport as a result of this pandemic?
So most of our marketing efforts are organic in the sense that we use our social media platforms, our website, and our mailing list to inform our audience about our products. On occasion, we do, take out some digital ad space, but that hasn't been a real focus. And we always really enjoy talking to people like you and being able to get our word out to your audience about what we're doing. So in the news, there has been a lot of talk about bikes. There's been a lot of infrastructure being put in, both temporary and permanent, in the bike lane, bike lane initiatives done by the different LGUs, and there have been a lot of opportunities for biking groups in general to have their voices heard, and BAM Bike's been doing what we can to be a part of that and has benefited from it for sure. So there has definitely been an increase in interest recently in the last couple of months, because getting around can be so challenging, especially when there's lack of public transportation, lack of curfews, when before Grab was limited, and these times have really opened up the environment for more bikers to feel safer. And I think there's a snowball effect that happens wherein you've got more people riding bikes, so automobiles and drivers have to be more respectful and more cautious around cyclists. So there's definitely safety in numbers, and more than ever before, I've been seeing people biking. You've got old people, young people, men, women, workers, leisure cyclists, and I think it's such a great thing because if you think about it, Metro Manila isn't that big. It's only so many kilometers across, and it's a relatively bikeable city, save the danger of riding on busy roads. So now that you have more cyclists with more bike lanes, and hopefully these initiatives continue, you will increase the numbers of cyclists even more, and you will have people who maybe weren't really into biking get into it. And we've seen that amongst our customer base, people who hadn't biked in 20 years who are now thinking this is an opportunity for them to get a bike and to ride around and to feel more safe. And yeah, it's been a great thing to see, and it's something that I think is going to transform Manila, and I hope will stay as a permanent fixture in the city.
I agree that the snowball effect you mentioned is such a great thing. I want more people to get into biking because it's such a what environmentally sound and physically healthy mode of public transport. So let's talk a little bit about the bikes themselves. I checked your website, and there you have a few models. There's the Olympian and the Victoria, and I think the Laguna. Can you please tell me a little bit more about these bikes? How are they designed, and what are their main differences?
So we have a whole wide range of bikes, going from very leisurely city type bikes that have an upright position, that are designed to be very comfortable with big saddles and really easygoing kind of feels to them, that are easy to pedal, with baskets and racks for you to grab whatever you want at your local marketplace. Across the board to, say, the Luntian, which is a more performance bike. It's an all-terrain geometry. It has double engineered bamboo top tubes, which provide really good stiffness, but also flexibility, which is innate in the bamboo. And it's designed for cross-country riding, for off-road, or for just general all-purpose cycling. And then we've been kind of building different models in the middle for touring bikes or kids bikes. We've got the Bambino, which is for 2 to 6 year old children, which doesn't have any pedals. The idea being it's here to get your kid active, away from their devices, away from this screen addiction, which is plaguing everybody these days, and teach them balance so that they can then build their fine motor skills and, be able to then get onto the BMX bike and then the other bikes that are bigger. And yeah, it's kind of constantly an evolution of bike design. We also have a bike that's called the Ligtas in Cove, which is beach cruiser design, with a long bench style seat, which is actually inspired by what I would always see here in the Philippines, where people would make angkas on the rear rack. But this bike has a long bench seat so that two people can sit on it, and you can bring your friend or your jowa with you as you ride around. And yeah, we've now also really gotten into e-bikes. So electric bikes for me are a game-changing technology, because not only do they, really serve their purpose of getting you around efficiently, but they're not emitting carbon. They operate basically silently. They've now got such a long distance range, you can use them for real practical commuting purposes. You don't get really sweaty because you've got a motor assisting you. And throughout the pandemic, we've been building more electric bamboo bikes than ever. And I really see this as something growing into an even more feasible form of transportation, because the people that wouldn't ride because they say it's either, where they're going is too far, or they don't want to show up sweaty and wear all spandex, we're not really about that. And the e-bike is a vehicle and a tool that enables you to get around with a big smile on your face. So we look forward to continuing to improve our designs there, and serve the market for that kind of mobility.
I really like the idea of the Bambino. I agree that more kids. I agree that kids should go out more